Are you an adventurous eater? To a lot of Westerners, the Japanese seem to be very adventurous with ingredients and combinations uncommon for us. Join us and find out some of the top, most surprising, amazing, and sometimes grossest Japanese street foods available. Number 15. Takoyaki. Starting off our list at 15 is none other than takoyaki, or octopus balls. Okay, so maybe it's not as shocking as the name suggests. We know you thought it. But this street food is extremely popular for festivals and other events. It's made of octopus meat, flour, green onions, seaweed, and other seasonings, and they're formed into balls, served on skewers and drizzled with a sauce similar to mayonnaise, fish flakes, and ginger pickles. If you're a fan of octopus, it's a must-try. Number 14. Yakitori. Maybe you've tried it at Japanese restaurants because it's a very popular appetizer in the US and elsewhere. It's yakitori. Now wait, isn't that just marinated and grilled chicken or beef skewers? It can be. In Japan, however, there are a lot more options, and some of them may leave you a bit surprised. Can you find good old chicken breast or thigh meat on a stick? Absolutely. Some things that you can also find sold at street-side carts and restaurants are chicken livers, chicken sausage, leeks, chicken skin, chicken tail, chicken cartilage, hearts or livers, and intestines. If you've been searching for chicken intestines on a stick, well, you're in luck. Number 13. Kare pan. This next entry sounds like something you'd find in England for after a night out drinking, but instead it's popular in Japanese bakeries and other food outlets. At 13 is kare pan, or curry bread. It's just that, bread filled with curry beef. Japanese curry, if you haven't tried it, is much less spicy than some other countries' versions and has a rich flavor and sort of a heavy texture. For the kare pan, they wrap some of that curry into bread dough, cover it in panko breadcrumbs, and fry it, making something that is essentially a curry-filled donut. Sounds amazing, don't you agree? Number 12. Imago no tsukudani. Anyone up for a big bowl of bugs? One treat that is less popular than it used to be is candied grasshoppers or locusts. They were originally popular because they were a very cheap and easy form of protein back when meat was expensive and relatively hard to come by. The grasshoppers are simmered in a sweet mixture of soy sauce, mirin, and seaweed and served over rice. The protein content is similar to chicken, so it remains relatively popular and easy to find in rural areas, even though it is no longer as popular as it once was in cities. So, if you want to venture outside of the big city, make sure you give them a try. Number 11. Ikayaki. Remember summer festivals from your childhood, enjoying the beautiful warm weather and a freshly grilled squid on a stick? No. Well, if you were Japanese, you might. At number 11, ikayaki is a pretty standard fare at outdoor festivals, street fairs, and outside of temples. The squid is either baked or grilled and topped with soy sauce and is served either whole or in pieces depending on the size of the squid. If you like calamari prepared other ways, this might sound pretty good, but for a lot of foreigners, the sight of squid on a stick can be surprising. Number 10. Dango. If you're used to Western-style sweets, you are probably used to some serious sugar. In Asia, however, sweets are usually a little more subtle. One popular treat is dango, which are rice balls made out of a sweetened blend of rice flour and glutinous rice flour. They can be served as is, or grilled to make them crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. They are often drizzled with sweetened soy sauce for added flavor. Dango are a traditional treat during cherry blossom season, and the variation popular there is a mix of pink, white, and green dango served on a skewer, and the green ones are seasoned and colored with a sort of grass, which gives them a slightly earthy flavor. Some variations on dango are serving them either filled or topped with bean paste, flavoring with green tea, or served with chestnuts, sesame seeds, or millet flour. Number 9. Okonomiyaki. Known famously and more than slightly misleadingly as Japanese pizza, our number 9 dish, okonomiyaki, is extremely popular in Japan. The name okonomiyaki literally means to one's liking, so it should come as no surprise that there is a lot of variation in this dish. The base is an egg and flour batter, into which shredded cabbage and your ingredients of choice are mixed. Some popular choices are combinations of pork, octopus, shrimp, yams, or kimchi. It's cooked tableside on a grill, and once done, topped with a sauce similar to mayonnaise, smoked bonito flakes, and seaweed. It's not Chicago deep dish for sure, but with the mix of fillings up to you, do you think it maybe sounds like something you'd want to try? Number 8. Wakame soba. Maybe some of you have tried soba, the popular buckwheat noodles used in favorites like yaki soba and other dishes. In our number 8 dish, Wakame soba, they're prepared in a seaweed soup. So if you've ever been walking around town and really wanted to tuck into a big bowl of seaweed soup, you are in luck. The soup is made with a broth of seaweed, shiitake mushrooms, and bonito flakes. And once the noodles are cooked in that, it's served with even more of the shredded wakame seaweed, herbs, scallions, and a pickled plum. The only question is, do you like the flavor of seaweed enough to try it? Number 7. Imago wa yaki. Good news, guys. Even though a lot of Japanese street foods sound kind of strange to Westerners, there are also sweets. One very popular treat is our number 7, Imago yaki, also known in the Osaka and Kyoto areas as okonomiyaki. If you're a fan of Japanese or Chinese snacks, maybe you have tried red bean paste in sweets. Although it may be strange to get used to if you're used to more American or Western sweets and ingredients, it can be a tasty way to get your sweets fix. In this particular dessert, the red bean paste is used as a filling in a dough that's cooked in a cast iron pan, like a sweet-filled pancake. The cooking method makes them crispy on the outside and creamy on the inside. They can also be filled with custard, curry, or meats and cheeses, but the most popular and traditional is the red bean paste. Number 6. Onsen Tamago. Our next entry isn't so strange when it comes to ingredients or flavors. What's strange about Onsen Tamago is that originally it was prepared exclusively at natural hot springs. The eggs would be slow cooked in the hot, but not too hot, waters of the springs, and the result is eggs with a very smooth, custard-like texture, like a poached egg still in the shell, but instead with the whites creamy and the yolk more firm. The eggs are then served in dashi, which is a light, clear broth and soy sauce. Originally made and sold near hot springs, they are now a popular street food, cooked in water with very carefully monitored temperatures to recreate as closely as possible the environments at the springs. Although, if you visit any Japanese hot spring, you'll be sure to find them prepared the original way. Number 5. Shuyaki. This next street food is for salt lovers only. At number 5, Shuyaki is actually a cooking method and doesn't refer to one specific food. The term Shuyaki refers to salt grilling meats, the most popular of which is fish. Instead of a marinade, the meat is rubbed with generous amounts of salt, then sits in it for a while, after which it is cooked over very hot coals. It's common in restaurants for salmon and other meats, but for street food, it's more often than not mackerel, and it's served on a stick. It's no corn dog, but if you like the idea of cruising the streets gnawing on a fish on a stick, it could have potential. Number 4. Oden. In the West, when a lot of us think of street food, we think of things that are easy to eat with our hands, but that's not always the case in Japan. Oden is a street food typically sold and enjoyed in winter. It's a stew with some regionally fluctuating ingredients, but some standard ingredients are a soy-flavored dashi broth, fish cake, hard-boiled egg, daikon radish, and yams. In other areas, people may add potato, tofu, mushrooms, or other vegetables, seafoods, and other meats. The original version was made with whale broth, but over time they've transitioned to a more typical and slightly less endangered dashi. Eating a bowl of stew on the street may sound odd to some of us, but on a cold night, a hot bowl of soup sounds great. Number 3. Shi Okada. This very popular bar food, usually served in small snack-sized portions alongside sake, is fermented squid, made with a lot of salt, chili peppers, wasabi, mirin, grated yuzu peel, which is a citrus fruit similar to a grapefruit, and viscera. Yep, you heard that right. It's marinated in its own guts and left to ferment for months before it's ready to eat. It's described as salty and spicy, with a strong smell typical of any fermented food, and is sticky. Other varieties of Shi Okada can be made with tuna, crab, or other seafood, but the most common is squid. It's something mostly found in bars, and the saltiness is famous for making you thirsty and wanting even more sake. Would you want to try it, or would you need to have some of that sake first and then decide? Number 2. Umeboshi onigiri. In America, when we think of pickling, we tend to think of cucumbers. In other countries, though, pickling is a pretty common method of preparing fruits and vegetables so they can last longer. One very popular one in Japan is pickled salty plums, or umeboshi. They have a very sour and salty flavor and are often served with rice and a bit of seaweed to make pickled plums sushi. During World War II and in post-war Japan, when they didn't have much food, they would call rice with an umeboshi plum in it hai no maru bento, or Japanese flag lunch, because of the appearance of the slightly red, round pickles. Although it started as something cheap and patriotic and easy during a difficult time, it has continued to be a popular street snack. Number 1. Natto. Our number 1 food is something even the Japanese love or hate. Natto is a dish that is made of fermented soybeans, and the taste and texture is one even locals describe as an acquired taste. It's very salty and has a funky, bitter flavor. A lot of Japanese love it as a breakfast food for the protein kick and salty flavor, which they eat with rice to neutralize the stronger elements of the taste. Many foreigners who aren't accustomed to foods like natto find the strong, rotted odor very off-putting. The most cringe-inducing aspect of the food to many foreigners, however, is something you don't even have to taste or smell it to know. The appearance and texture of natto is a bit, well, phlegmy. If you can look at a bowl of natto and not make a joke about someone sneezing, you are a better person than we are. So, What did you think? Which one of these would you want to try? Are there any that you would absolutely never want anywhere near you? Let us know what you think, and if there are any other foods you've tried you think should have been on our list, make sure to comment down below. Also, subscribe for more daily content, and thanks for watching.